Seniors, have you ever caught your reflection in a shop window and barely recognized the person staring back? Or had someone show you a photograph where your head seems to be reaching forward, as if you're perpetually leaning into tomorrow, instead of standing firmly in today? It's one of those moments that stops you cold because suddenly you see what's been happening so gradually you didn't notice. Your shoulders have rounded, your neck has crept forward, and somewhere along the way your body started folding in on itself. What most people don't realize is that this forward head position isn't just about appearance or even just about that nagging stiffness in your neck and shoulders. There's fascinating research showing that when your head shifts even 2 inches forward from where it should naturally sit, your spine has to work as if it's carrying an extra 20 to 30 pounds every single moment you're upright. Imagine strapping a heavy bag of groceries to your head and carrying it around all day. That's essentially what your body is dealing with. And here's something that really caught my attention. Studies following older adults over several years found that those with sustained forward head position had notably higher rates of falls, even when their leg strength was completely normal. It wasn't their legs that were the problem, it was the way their whole body had shifted, throwing off their center of gravity and making balance harder to maintain. But there's also the fatigue that comes with it, the mental fog that some people experience, even digestive issues that seem unrelated but actually stem from the same root cause, compression and misalignment affecting how your body functions as a whole. Today we're going to walk through a straightforward routine that takes about 4 minutes and addresses this pattern in a way that's gentle, sustainable, and deeply effective. This isn't about yanking yourself into military posture or standing rigid like a statue. It's about helping your body remember its natural design, the way it was meant to hold itself before years of sitting, working, caring for others, and life in general created these protective patterns. Because that's really what this forward position is, a form of protection. Your body isn't betraying you or giving up. It's adapting to stress, to visual needs, to emotional tension that gets stored in the upper back and shoulders. I've worked with people in their 70s and 80s who were told this was just part of aging, something to accept and live with. But when we took a different approach, not forcing the body back into place but inviting it to rediscover its center through gentle movement and awareness, the changes were remarkable. One gentleman in his early 70s told me that after just a few days of practicing these techniques each morning, his wife looked at him and said something simple but profound. "You look like yourself again." That's what we're after here, not perfection, but recognition. The feeling of inhabiting your body fully, of moving through space with ease rather than effort. So why does this forward head pattern become so common as we get older? The spine doesn't just lose height over the decades, it loses coordination. The small vertebrae in your neck begin to stiffen, the deep muscles that support your head weaken from under use, and gradually, almost imperceptibly, your head migrates forward. But this isn't just gravity pulling you down or an inevitable part of aging. Often it's a response to life itself. Your body curling forward to see better, to protect yourself emotionally, to manage pain or tension that's been there so long you've stopped noticing it. These patterns of stress and survival get written into your posture, particularly in the neck, shoulders, and jaw. The body literally holds the story of your life, the years at a desk, the losses you've carried, the responsibilities you've shouldered. And over time, if that story goes unaddressed, your nervous system starts to think this collapsed position is normal. It locks it in as the new baseline, which is why trying to simply pull your shoulders back or tuck your chin in rarely works for long. You're fighting against your own nervous system, which believes it's keeping you safe by maintaining this position. So our approach has to be different. We're not going to force anything. Instead, we're going to send new signals through movement and breath that gently remind your brain and body that you're safe, that you can stand tall, that opening up doesn't make you vulnerable. We start by waking up muscles that have been quiet, not with strain but with awareness. Before any correction happens, your neck needs to be reminded that it can move freely in all directions. Gentle rotation, bending forward and back, tilting side to side, these aren't really exercises in the traditional sense. They're invitations. They signal to your brain that it's safe to release the tension it's been holding and to reestablish the mobility that's been lost. The key here is slowness. giving your nervous system time to adjust rather than forcing it into position. When you rush movement, your body goes into defense mode, bracing against what feels like a threat. But slow, rhythmic movement activates the part of your nervous system responsible for rest and healing. This is what I call sensory re-entry. You're not just moving your neck, you're reconnecting your neck with the rest of your body. You're listening to how it feels, noticing where the tension lies, and beginning to dissolve it through attention rather than force. This is where most programs fail. They skip this listening phase and jump straight to correcting, and that's why so many people give up. If your body feels threatened by what you're asking it to do, it will resist, no matter how technically correct the exercise might be. So this warm-up phase isn't optional, it's the foundation everything else builds on. We move through 4 basic directions: turning your head gently left and right, tilting your chin toward your chest, and then looking up slightly, bending your ear toward each shoulder, and finally, what we call retraction, gently drawing your head straight back without lifting your chin. Each movement is done slowly without force, and the purpose isn't to achieve a certain range of motion, but to feel, to sense, to notice. You're not chasing flexibility here, you're re-establishing control and stability. Your brain won't allow movement where it doesn't feel secure, so by doing this warm up for at least 30 seconds in each direction, ideally going through the whole sequence twice, you're activating circulation and releasing the deep neck muscles that have been offline, sometimes for years. And here's what's remarkable: if you do this correctly, paying attention to sensation rather than performance, you'll feel your breathing shift by the second or third round. That's your body telling you it feels supported, and when the body feels supported, it naturally begins to open. Once your neck is warmed up and your nervous system feels safe, we move into the first corrective step. It looks like a simple chin tuck, but it's actually much more coordinated than that, involving your shoulders, upper back, and the entire postural chain. You start by clasping your hands gently behind your back, or if that's uncomfortable, just resting them in your lap. Then you draw your shoulder blades together slowly and deliberately, as if you're trying to hold a pencil between them. Only after that engagement do you gently pull your chin straight back, keeping your head level and your neck long, not tucking your chin down toward your chest, but drawing it back like you're making a double chin. This feels completely different from just pulling your chin in, because you're involving your whole upper body. Most people never think to connect their shoulder blades to their neck position, but they're absolutely part of the same system. Your head doesn't just float forward in isolation, it's pulled there by what's happening around it. In many older adults, the front of the body becomes overdominant, chest tight, shoulders collapsed inward, while the back becomes weak and underactive. This movement reverses that pattern. It reminds your body that it still remembers how to hold itself. You hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds, using your breath to stay calm rather than bracing, then release and repeat it 2 or 3 times. That breath element is critical because without it, you might tense up instead of releasing, and tension defeats the whole purpose. When you exhale slowly during the hold, you're telling your nervous system that you're safe here, that this alignment is something to move toward, not something to fear. Once you can feel that engagement, especially between your shoulder blades, we move to the next step, which uses gentle traction to reawaken the length of your spine. You'll need a small towel for this. Roll it up and place it at the base of your skull, holding the ends of the towel in your hands in front of you. Let your arms hang forward naturally while the towel anchors backward, creating a passive pull that reminds your neck and upper spine how to extend without straining. This activates muscles most people haven't used consciously in years, particularly around the base of the skull and between the shoulder blades. The towel isn't just providing support, it's sending a message to your spine that it doesn't have to carry all this weight alone. While the towel does the pulling, your job is simply to lift the crown of your head slightly upward, as if a gentle string is drawing you taller, decompressing your spine naturally. This gives you a chance to feel what upright can be without bracing or over-efforting. Let the towel do the work. You're not fighting to get taller, you're remembering how tall you already are. Hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds and repeat it 3 times, letting your breath expand into your ribs with each inhale, feeling how your spine naturally lifts and then stabilizes. Your body is recalibrating in real time, learning a new pattern that it can carry forward into your daily life. Now we address the mid-back, that area between your shoulder blades that often becomes rigid after years of sitting, stress, and shallow breathing. For this, you'll need a yoga block, a rolled towel, or even a small cushion. Place it on the floor and position it just beneath your shoulder blades, then lie back over it slowly, letting your chest open and your ribcage expand. This might sound simple, but for most people it's deeply needed because this part of the spine rarely moves into extension in daily life. We're always bending forward, driving, cooking, reading on our phones, but moving backward, opening the front of the body, that almost never happens. Your body literally forgets how unless it's given permission like this. So you're not pushing into this movement, you're melting into it. Let your arms fall open to the sides, palms facing up if that's comfortable. Your head rests back, fully supported. Your knees can stay bent with feet flat on the floor for more support, or you can extend your legs for a deeper stretch, whichever feels right. The position doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to feel like space is opening across your chest and upper back. Hold this for at least 30 seconds, though many people find they want to stay much longer, sometimes 5 or even 10 minutes. Over time you'll notice your breath naturally deepens here. That's your nervous system shifting gears, moving out of that protective, contracted state and into one of ease and expansion. This isn't just physical release, it's emotional permission to take up space again, to feel open after perhaps years of feeling closed in. The key to making all of this stick isn't intensity, it's rhythm. Your body responds best to what is repeated consistently, not what is extreme or sporadic. 4 minutes a day done regularly will transform your posture and how you feel far more effectively than a 40-minute session once a week. Anchor this routine to something you already do every day, like right after brushing your teeth in the morning or before you have your breakfast. When you link it to an existing habit, your brain doesn't have to rely on willpower. It just flows naturally from one action to the next. Make it easy on yourself. Keep the towel and block or cushion in a spot where you'll see them. Create a little space that welcomes this practice. And remember, this isn't about achieving perfect posture, it's about functional alignment, about feeling balanced, supported, and free in your own body. The goal isn't to stand like a soldier at attention, it's to move through your day without your body having to work so hard just to stay upright. Missing one day isn't the problem, it's the story you tell yourself afterward that breaks the momentum. So be kind to yourself. This is about nurturing your body, not correcting it like it's done something wrong. Consistency built on compassion lasts so much longer than discipline built on shame. And what you'll notice, often within the first week or two, is a kind of lightness, like you're not working so hard just to exist. Your breathing deepens naturally. Some people find their thinking becomes clearer or their digestion improves, all signs that circulation and nerve signaling are functioning better. And emotionally, there's often a quiet shift from feeling heavy to feeling ease, as if by standing taller physically, something inside begins to lift as well. People describe feeling more present, more alive, more like themselves, because posture isn't just about how you look or even how you move, it's about how you relate to the world. When your body stops bracing against life, your mind starts opening to possibility, and that shift, that feeling of ease and presence, becomes something you naturally want to return to each day.